Hello, today is the anniversary of the birth in 1821 of Fyodor Dostoevsky, the Russian author who's become well known for his novels, The Brothers Karamazov, The Idiot, Crime and Punishment. But he's also something of a philosopher, some of which comes out in his novels. And I was particularly wanting to share with you today some of his thoughts about love. He says, for example, that hell is where the situation where someone is not able to love. And I think that's an interesting definition, both for this world and for the next. Particularly in the next, I could imagine it being pretty hellish if you can't find it in you to offer love in an atmosphere where, presumably in the next life, love is everything. It must be pretty hellish. But certainly in this life too, I think not being able to love must lead to a fairly hellish kind of existence. But he talks about love not as an emotion really, but as a skill, something that you have to learn, something which can take a whole life to develop and to encourage in yourself. That it's something that becomes something which we grow into. And he's keen to encourage us to see love as being something that we use our eyes for. That, for example, he says that to really love another human being, you need to see them as God intended them to be. In other words, to really look at somebody and to be able to see past their flaws or failings or irritating habits or whatever it is, to the person that God intended them to be. And that will enable you to love that person. And he doesn't necessarily say this, but I'm sure that if we can offer that kind of love to people, it enables them more easily to allow that of God in them to develop, that they can become more like the people God wanted them to be because of the way we love them. And I think it's that kind of love that he suggests we should develop and encourage. But it's more than just love for individuals, it's love for everything that exists. He says that we should love the animals, love the plants, love everything. You will begin to comprehend it all better every day. That is a kind of understanding that grows with loving, that's deeper than just a rational explanation. You will, he says, come at last to love the whole world with an embracing love. That somehow this ability to really look at people, to really look at nature, from the grain of sand, he says, to the beauty of the clouds, every aspect of it, if we can really look at it and absorb it and love it, then I think we're beginning, he says, to come into that skill, which he thinks will enable us not to experience hell, but perhaps to know a little bit of heaven.